Hello, Radiant Soul Light. Okay, so I've been wanting to do this video for a while because many of you have asked me to do it in the comments, or you've emailed me, or those of you that are on my tarot course and tarot apprenticeship program have asked for clarity. We've talked about it in class, but I promised I wanted to do a video. And I actually just wanted to do this video for such a long time, actually ever since I started doing YouTube videos with the tarot. So let's start with the devil. Really, really, really misinterpreted and misunderstood card. And you probably wouldn't understand it unless you studied occultism and other disciplines, spiritualism, metaphysics, esotericism, all the behind the scenes, and also a focus of manifestation. Now, tarot is a guidepost. It's really a map. It's a map. It's also predictive. It can be used. It's a tool that can be used in many different ways. I actually use it in my transpersonal psychology programs for self-development and spiritual integration. And you got to remember, tarot was both for understanding oneself, gnosis, I know, understanding one's path, okay, because it was developed by the ancients to understand meaning and purpose, but also to navigate, right? And it's navigating in many ways the unseen. It helps us see what we can't see with our naked eye, with our, mainstream consciousness awareness, the beta consciousness. It can help us even through the shuffling. It aligns us. Shuffling is a type of meditation. It's a practice that aligns us to a certain vibrational frequency and a portal to enter, right? To extend or expand into the all that is, into the resonant fields, the etheric plane, the astral, the Akash or Akashic, the spirit realm, to connect in. So through our intention and the shuffling and our own, wherever we're at in our own evolution, our level of consciousness, we channel through that level of consciousness or awareness to get into extended or expanded consciousness of the all that is. But what we share is given at our level of understanding and awareness. We're stretched a bit, but still we are the container, right? We are the channel. Or if you're doing more psychic reading, it's coming through your psyche, your soul. Psyche means soul in Latin. So let's look at the devil. The devil has a lot to do with manifestation and creativity. The devil, ruled by Capricorn, has to do with our achievement, our ambition on the lower level, on the mundane level. It is the billy goat. It's the goat that goes up the mountain, that's sure-footed, that knows the terrain. Just like all signs, but specifically the expression of earth sign, however it's expressing through you in the cards, or let's say in astrology, is showing you spirit and matter, that it's one and the same. And so in the lower level, or what we call esoterically the lower octave of the devil, it's very focused only on what one can see, the material, what one can see, taste, touch, and have. And so it gets bound to a lot. It gets attachment. And that's why you see these chains. Now, tarot has many aspects of divination, metaphysics, the occult within it, the esoteric. It has numerology, astrology, also the Kabbalah, some symbolism even comes from the Rosicrucians, Freemasonry. It's showing, again, it's a map. So the symbols are a map. This is why in the Thoth deck, you've got the gonads. So we learn about creativity, manifestation. We learn about energy as a power and what it can do in manifested form with the devil. It's Capricorn. Now, I did some little notes here. So the devil is the lord of creation, okay? It's the law of creation. This is why a lot of you hear me always say in my videos, whoa, you're getting the devil a lot. It has to do with manifestation. You're learning how to manifest. We all are right now. This is why the devil is showing up so much. We're learning how to manifest on the denser physical form, through the denser physical form. The devil has to do with form, okay, but also function, okay? Taurus, very much about form as well, but Capricorn likes function. It's practical. It's a maintainer, stabilizing energy. So you've got the devil has also to do with Saturn, which is limitation, understanding limitation, how to work with limitation. And one of the limitations is time. But we have time, energy, resource. It is Father Time, comes from Chronos, right? And that Chronos, if you look at the Chronos watch, right, has to do with seeing below the depths and understanding the material plane. Now, in the exalted expression, the devil is ruled not only by Saturn, but also Mars. So the devil has to do very much with where you put your energy. And Mars, right, is Mars, the Martian energy, ruled by Aries, has to do with raw male energy. So it's very much about the masculine, the male energy of procreation or creating and doing something with that creation. Where the Empress card, let's look at the Empress. The Empress has a lot to do with creativity and fertility, but it's very much about magnetizing. At the devil, you begin to understand the difference between magnetizing and attracting and initiating, right? So esoterically, we all have like 3 ways of expressing, you know, whether it's in astrology or in the tarot. Every card has its lower octave, the mundane, which in the mundane, it's very much about what you see. It's very much about the material. That's when people are saying, oh, you're stuck in a relationship, or you've got addictions. That's lower level interpretation. It's not bad. It's just mundane. It's looking at that somebody is stuck or attached in something, right? Overly attached, bound, chained to something. But the esoteric clues here on the devil, especially the Rider-Waite, understands that it's all about duality. The devil is here to master duality, the feminine and masculine principles of creation. And again, that's also when the feminine and masculine aspects of creation come together, right? The sperm and the ovum come together, right? The spermazoa, right? Whatever it's called, is fertilizing. There is some kind of creation. So there's all these creations that want to come through us. Now, it's very interesting. Anytime you see in symbolism horns, there are receptors, because in the animal kingdom, this is about our animal nature, and the tarot reflects this. Our animal nature is very instinctual. It's very raw. It picks up things. It picks up vibes, right? So you could say this is the aura. It's the antenna. You know, it's the outer. You know, it's reflecting the sonar, the GPS. It's picking signals up, and that's what happens also in nature. But it's also protection. So one of the esoteric meanings of the horns, especially as it's applied to the devil, has to do with your spirit, your connection to spirit, your spiritual understanding is your protection. Your understanding that the material is simply spirit in form. We're all consciousness made manifest. This is where the devil, you know, in its higher octave, reigns and lives. So you've got the lower octave, which is fixed, it's mundane, it's a dualistic focus. What else did I want to say about that? It would be coal, you know, in alchemy, it's coal. It's the deep dark in the earth, it's coal. And that's the lower octave. Then the medium octave, or the medium range, energetically, vibrationally, is what's mutable. So the mundane is very fixed. That's the idea. It's what I see. That's it. You know, and you see this sometimes, unfortunately, with a lower octave of fixed signs. That's it. They don't want to hear anything else. They don't want to hear new insight or information, or it takes them a while. So that fixity locks us into a perception. And that's why sometimes the devil represents our beliefs, that a belief is holding us back or limiting us because it's fixed. But that means we're not connecting to the spiritual aspect and understanding of the devil, the reign of the spirit realm. It's very interesting too, because the devil, Lucius, is the light bearer. And so that's another metaphysical understanding, esoteric understanding, when you understand that Lucius holds the light. That's the difference with the devil. See, the devil holds the light. The hermit shines the light, but the devil is the light bearer, is holding that light. And what is that light? It's spirit in form. Can we see the light? Can we see the unity, the oneness? Can we see the higher vibrational frequency in everything and everyone? The devil shows us that in our creations. Let's take cell phones. People, I can't, I hate the phone, or I'm attached to it, or everybody's stuck on their devices. It's not the phone's fault. That's spirit in form. That cell phone, especially, I love my iPhone. On a regular basis, I give thanks to Wozniak, Jobs, especially Jobs, but all, the techies. I go, wow, look how much it's freed us up. I can do videos, I can do posters, I can post, I can, do voice notes to my clients. I mean, there's so much that can be done. It's unleashed our creativity. That's the devil. The devil is here to unleash our light, unleash our creativity. It's holding the light, but we have to see beyond the denser physical form. That's why it's coal. That's why in alchemy it's coal. So you have the mundane or lower level expression of the devil. Then we move into the middle range, which is the higher self. So this would be, the lower level would be very just human existence, the ego, even egoic, because it's going to be the healthy ego, but it's also going to be the egoic. It's going to be the wounding, unhealed. Then we move into the mutable, and on the cross, we've got the fixed, the mutable, and then the cardinal, and I'll get to that, the disciple. So where we're at now in kind of in those that are on a conscious path, especially soul path, spiritual path, we're in the soul alignment. So we're connecting more to our higher self. We're moving out of the egoic or the pure human into the higher self, and understanding and experiencing, expressing more through our higher self as our soul. We're tipping there. And so that middle range is the path of initiate. And this is why the devil is called the path of initiation. The devil is an initiate. And that's the sign of Capricorn, is the sign of the initiate. And what does the initiate learn esoterically? Is that it's a conduit, it's a channel, that you're not just your body, you're not just your mind or your emotions. You're more than that. You're expressing and experiencing through this mind and emotions and this body. So you start getting the hang of it, that, I'm this higher self. There's this extended or expanded aspect of my being. We're all of it, but when you're sticking to the mundane or the human, you don't see it. You only see that you're tied to a relationship or a situation, and if they're gone, then there's no more connection. So really, as humanity, the people that are awakening and where we're going is moving from this connection of the initiate to being initiated into moving into being a disciple. And some of you are already there, and that disciple is just being disciplined with your understanding esoterically of what's going on. You're seeing beyond the lower level play of consciousness. So we also call this the dweller on the threshold, right? In the middle realm of the devil. It's like, do you go forward? Do you get unstuck? or do you stay stuck? Okay. And what are we talking about here? When you're talking about being stuck, you're talking about not freeing yourself up enough to fully express as a soul, fully express as a soul being. And so that's what the devil is teaching us, is the higher level of manifestation, living in manifested form, consciousness made manifest. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's very powerful esoterically. To really, live full, if you're going to, through the tarot, there's many different ways of doing it, but you have to understand and kind of befriend the devil. Capricorn, I mean, there's not one sign that's all good or all bad. And there's not one tarot card that's all good or all bad or all one meaning. So when you are on the lower level in the mundane only, you're identifying with form. Oh, if I have this much money in the bank, I'm amazing. Or my car. This is where you see overdoing facially, trying to change to fit in, to have love and validation, through, a lot of surgeries, whatever, a lot of stuff that goes on this earth plane. And you know what I'm talking about is misuse or misappropriation of the energy that's represented through the devil. It's not devil energy. It's just this card is representing this free form energy. And so you're locked in to only identifying. And Saturn is there. Oh, if I'm a certain age or a certain weight, or I live a certain color, a certain culture, or live in a certain area, I'm amazing, or I'm not great enough, good enough. That's all the devil, because you're seeing something only in its earthly form. You're not seeing that it's consciousness made manifest. You're not seeing that spirit is also matter. And that's what we're here. We devolve. This is what the placement of the devil as the 1-5, right? 6 brings us back again to that co-creative energy. And once you really understand the energy of the devil, and it also ties into the lovers, I'll get into that. And also, if you guys want me to do more of these videos, just let me know. I think I only have time. I was going to get to 7 of Swords too. Let's see how much time, because I'm doing these in between my private sessions. So, Capricorn keeps things going, but can get stuck and mired in itself and very fixed if it only uses that Capricorn energy. If you're getting the devil a lot, that means get into also not just the Capricorn energy, ruled by Saturn. You're probably learning something. What's the learning lesson with the devil on its exalted level is to take that creative energy and do something with it. The Kundalini, it's the same energy we use for reading, having sex, dancing, I'm doing with this video. It's all the same energy, but how do we use it? And what's the quality? The quality of the energy shifts, but it's all one energy source. And you understand that at the devil without being, overly greedy, okay? Because you think that there's not enough. Then you're not really connecting to the light within. And that's also what the devil teaches us. So attached to form, identifying through form in the lower harmonic, the mid harmonic, when you're connecting more to the higher self, again, you're still in duality. And that's also in the lower harmonic. You're very, very dualistically focused. You're probably on the extremes of the polarity plane. I love them, I hate them. This and that, you're probably, even with substance, I can't have this, I hate this, but I want this, or I love them and only them, or I can only be with it. You see, you're just in that ping pong. And when we ping pong energetically, metaphysically, we're not using the energy, we're not recycling, and we're not receiving energy, because it's just going back and forth. It's not in that orbit, that cosmic energetic orbit, right? The middle range or middle octave of the devil, when you start connecting more to your higher self and you're understanding more of earth and how it's a reflection of spirit, it's manifested spiritual energy, the interconnectedness of things, you now begin to express and experience through form, through material ideas and possessions. So the lower harmonic, you're attached to it, you're stuck, you're addicted to the material form. That's all you believe in and all you see. You know, oh, there's no really psychic, that's a coincidence. What synchronicity? No, that's, why are you believing that way? So however that is. But it's still also people that are very connected to the more mundane, lower level expression could be very good, you know, workers or start businesses. They could even be attached to great philanthropic companies, you know, give back to society, work in community. They're good at maintaining and stabilizing things. The issue is a lot of times they're cut off from their spirit, their spiritual core, their understanding. Even if they're in a religion or something, sometimes what happens is they don't see it as them or within them. It's something outside them. Again, it's dualistic. God is outside there. Okay, and the level of the higher self, it's like, okay, there's me, and I do have this God part of me. You know, there's a human part and a higher part, a lower and a higher part. And so you start experiencing, expressing through form more consciously, where you use form to heal yourself, heal others, help, uplift. That would be the stage of somebody consciously knowing what they're doing on the material plane. There's much more of a consciousness or awareness that all comes from one source, that all is spiritually based, and that everything is part of the interconnectedness of everything and everyone, the all that is, God, however you want to term, that there is this one infinite source, and that takes these multiple expressions. Then when you move into the more exalted phase of Capricorn, or the devil, is represented by the devil, you are moving more as a consciousness of divine love. You are the consciousness. There's a recognition, a realization, but a feeling, and more living more and more. This is where we're all going. You know, we get there. We're in and out. Maybe some of you are already there. I don't know. This is the disciple. You're free to love. This is cardinal. This is the soul. This is recognizing there is no separation, and actually from the lower, the higher, it's all one, and it's delineated by vibration. Everything is love. Love has no opposite. Okay, love has no opposite. No, the opposite of love is not fear. Fear is an emotion, a healthy emotion and response, and sometimes reaction. Love is a unifying force. It's a cohesive force of the universe, and it expresses and experiences in various degrees and various ways. So at the higher level of the devil, you know that you've got those gonads. You got, you know, you realize you are an aspect of the all that is, experiencing and expressing itself as you for a certain time period on this earth plane, here to simply create and express yourself as a soul being. And that your soul is this blueprint, right? This energetic matrix that experiences out by vibration and wavelength, right? This certain vibration and wavelength expresses as you. And you're to create with that. What do you do with that? So the devil that many people are learning right now to harness, the devil energy, is how to create in a higher vibrational frequency way, more from love, more from the consciousness of divine love, more from the consciousness of love, which is cohesiveness, which is synergy, resonance, coherence. Some dissonance, there's always going to be some dissonance on the planet, because that is the earth experience, things that aren't quite cohesive or don't align. But when you're learning more and more that you are this source energy, you're a vehicle for the source energy, you're an aspect of the source energy, that's when the devil gets very active in your life in a very exalted way, in a very life-enhancing way. Because Mars, now you're using that energy out there in the world consciously. You're aligning to the Mars energy, not just the Saturnian energy. But the Saturn is there too, because you've learned something. You've learned some learning lessons. You've learned what to do and not to do. What's your particular sticky glue that you get stuck in a certain frequency, and then that has a certain experience, whether a relationship that's, you know, not life enhancing or throws you off your path or whatever it is. At the devil, you begin to learn what's your particular sticky glue, which means what connects you astrally, your emotional body to the astral, where it hasn't quite been cleared out yet astrally, right? The astral body corresponds to the emotional body, or the astral plane to the emotional plane. And this is where you get what people call like karmic relationships. This is where you get those learning lesson relationships. The lesson comes over and over again. But at the devil, it's to free you, to free the energy of you, to free your spirit, your spiritual energy, and how it's manifesting as a soul. So the devil is quite an amazing card for manifestation. This is why you have the pentagram up here, which represents the earth plane. Okay? 5 points of existence of man, you know, mankind, really, human. You've got the bat for rebirth. So at the devil card, you usually have some kind of rebirth. If you do the path of the devil quite intently, using your intention and do it well in your healing and synthesis, you emerge. Okay, you've got the fire there, the fire of passion. But there's always some kind of death. That's why you see this kind of scaly, I don't know if you can see it there, that's holding the flame. Passion of the male aspect of our being, and the fruitfulness of the feminine again. So inherent in the devil is the lovers. The lovers card, that's one of the esoteric understandings, because the 15th card also synthesizes or distills to the 6th. And so it's an understanding of the feminine aspect of you that is blooming and blossoming, but it comes from the fire. So what is your passion? The devil asks you, what's your passion for life? Okay, and also on Rider Waite, you've got why does the devil have the beard here, and it's graying, is for the wisdom. Okay, now the devil is also, in myth, is Pan, the god Pan. So too much of the devil energy is pandemic, okay, is the Pied Piper Pan that leads you astray, leads you off your path, is Dionysus, that, the god of drink and merriment, so there can be too much of that. But at the devil, you realize you are meant to experience these things on the earth plane. But again, what's the balance for you? That's where your wisdom, your insight comes in, and not to lose your connection to your spirit, to your soul, your spiritual energy, yourself as a soul being, source, to recognize that these things aren't what makes you happy, or this people, or this relationship, or this drug, or this I don't know, whatever is not it's not outside you, it's all within you. And that's another big lesson of the devil. And then you're to celebrate your creativity, your creation, and that gives you this sure-footedness of the Capricorn goat, right, up the hill. And that's why Capricorns, for the most part, can have a lot of they have good with due diligence, with effort and moving forward. It's just the key is not to get stuck in that, not to get stuck in the lower vibrational frequency. Once you really understand the devil and what it brings you for manifesting, you're connecting in alchemically to your own inner masculine and feminine, right? The Venus and the Mars energy. And so it's how much do you attract or magnetize, and then what do you do? How do you then initiate? What's the balance for you, right, with that? So, very powerful card. We move from the coal, the purifying and the lower level, or the mundane, into the crystal. And that's where we're at right now in the awakening process, is the crystalline grid. The crystal to start seeing clearly, and also crystals to be used as healing modalities. But then in the higher level of the devil, you move into the diamond, and that's the the fixed, the mutable, and the cardinal, that initiation to put forth creative expression, creative ways of being in the world in a higher vibrational frequency, which is love, which is divine love, recognizing that you are that divine love. So the diamond also is very reflective. The diamond actually absorbs. Again, see the metaphysical meaning. I used to not be able to wear, and I can't all the time wear diamond earrings. I used to lose one all the time. Sometimes I'd find it, sometimes not. And I would start, what would happen is I'd start getting, my lymph nodes sometimes would swell a little bit. And the earrings would just fall right out. Even if I was sitting down, I've had a couple times where it just fell right out. And that was just absorbing too much, that frequency of drawing in. And that's for another video, but like silver is about purifying. Silver is easier to wear. But there was a time when I was doing a lot of alchemical inner work and esoteric work that I couldn't wear silver at all. It was too dense, it was too heavy. Couldn't wear turquoise or silver. I could only wear gold. Then there was a time I couldn't wear gold and I could only wear silver. Now I can wear silver and gold. So it's interesting. So think about the devil a little bit differently. You know, don't fear the devil. It's about creativity, creative expression. It's about freeing up to express more light, to experience more light, to lighten up. That's why it's also the Heyoka card also. Heyoka, it's a trickster. Sometimes in the devil, you learn by opposites. You think it's a certain thing, the cool thing, the hip thing, you know, the thing that's going to give you the glow up, and then it doesn't. It's the wrong thing. And then the thing that's not so popular is the thing that takes off, or the thing that really gives you, you know, importance, you know, a feeling. So also at the devil, you learn to see beyond the physical eyes. We call it the, you learn to see through, you know, the psychic eye. Third eye, because in the lower level of the devil, you're only looking at things materially. You're only looking at what you can see physically, or what we call the visible eye. And so at the devil, the initiation is to also be able to learn to see with the invisible eye. So think of those terms. Let me know how this resonates for you, especially you Capricorns. I know Capricorns get a bad rap, but Capricorn is the sign of the initiate on the earth plane. It's a very important energy. All signs are important energies and aspects and experiences of energy, expressions of energy. It's all energy. But once we understand it more, then we can understand the lessons, get the lesson, and then use the energy. That's understanding universal laws. It's understanding the universe that we live in, our personal and collective universe. And the devil has a lot to teach us, but it also has a lot to give us. There's a lot of freedom in the devil. It's about freeing up psychically, freeing up the light, recognizing that you are the light bearer. You hold the light. And light is used for creativity, right? It's a form of manifestation. Vibration is the first form. Vibration, wavelength, vibration. And then from wavelength and vibration, we get light. And so it's a very powerful energy. It's a very powerful path, this major arcana. All major arcana are initiations into certain esoteric understanding, occult understanding. So the devil could very well be signaling to you, if you're getting the devil a lot, that you have something to free up from or free up to. And that's more of you, more of your light. And how is that light expressing in your life? Is love, wisdom, experience, you creating something. It's very powerful energy to connect with. All right, I just wanted to get to Seven of Swords. And I think that's all I'm gonna have time. And if you want me to do more cards, just leave in the comments or email me, or some of you are my Patreon metaphysical and spiritualism salon, or if you're doing a tarot class, let me know what you want to see more of, and I'll dive deep. Seven of Swords, another card that's so misunderstood that I really love. I really, in fact, I'll give you a little example of this. Seven of Swords has been said as futility, or a response. A lot of people call it the liar, cheater, stealer, but the Seven of Swords is it's, to me, I call it the diplomat card. It's very much about strategizing, strategy. It's come out of the Six of Swords, where there's been some clarity, some understanding. There's been, whether in your mind, probably even with another person, but it also happened in your mind. But at the Seven of Swords, you start realizing that to navigate through this earth game, this soul playground, you don't reveal everything. Now, when the Seven of Swords, again, is used consciously, it's a very powerful card. But this is, yes, it can be the card of people withholding something from you, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're a liar, cheater, or stealer. They may or may not be. And esoterically, it's looked at, why didn't we know? Why didn't we use our intuition or our instinct at the devil? Why didn't we use our energy and our instinct to understand, you know, what was going on with a person? I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. So one thing that can kind of highlight this is that moon in Aquarius energy. So Seven of Swords, that's why a lot of times when people get it in a reading, they're like liar, cheater, stealer, probably has somebody else. Seven of Swords, there's usually an agenda, but it could be teaching you that you also need to have an agenda or a strategy to your life, not just bumble along through things, right? Why I also call this the card of the diplomat, and other esotericists have an occultist as well, is because the Seven of Swords, you learn that you don't have to reveal everything or say everything, or you're not meant to, or it could be not appropriate. And it also is an understanding that we don't see everything from everyone. We don't know all the time people's agenda, and their agenda could even just be their wounding. So it's kind of a tread lightly. I'm going to give you an example of Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is, let's say you are a journalist and you want to get this interview. You were told that this diplomat or ambassador was going to be at this cocktail party. Okay, could be potluck, whatever it is. Okay, going to be at this event. But you only have a couple of minutes to connect with this person and to set something up, or to get a couple of, let's say, sound bites from this person, right? So you get invited, you put on your best, whatever, you show up, and there's drinks going around, whatever, you're chit-chatting with this person, that person, and you see the ambassador through your eye going in the other room, and where there's food, and you hear in your ear, somebody pop by that, oh, he's going to be leaving in 20 minutes, or she's going to be leaving in 20 minutes, whomever it is. Okay, she is going to be leaving in 20 minutes. So you start to go over there, and then someone that you casually know comes over and wants to talk to you, and you don't necessarily want to say, I have to go get this scoop, and let's say they're another journalist, or they're a writer or whatever, they have a podcast. And you're like, do you stay and talk? This is Seven of Swords. No, you got to go get to that ambassador before she leaves, but you also don't want to reveal over what you're doing. Oh, I have this scoop. I'm getting paid to do this article, or I'm going to have the ambassador, he's going to come on my podcast at some point, so I have to get a couple sound bites. Do you want to go into all that and pull your energy? That's what the Seven of Swords, are you going to pull your energy away from what you're doing? Or do you Seven of Swords them, as I call it, where you just go, God, great to see you. I'll talk to you later, or call you, text you, or we'll get together, or I'm just have something to do, and then I'm going to come back. Now, some people could say, well, you're lying. You lied to that person. You didn't tell them what you're really doing. And maybe you're scooping them on a project, right? That's Seven of Swords. You're being diplomatic. You're saying just what needs to be said on the surface, but you're not going into, a deep dive of things and divulging things. And you're also the Seven of Swords. People that navigate through life very well at that Seven of Swords, naturally, they don't get pulled off their course. They have their agenda, their map, they're strategizing. So we have to understand Seven of Swords energy, especially if we're starting a business or projects, or there's something that we want to do. we can't have all these influences coming in, right? Just at the Six of Swords, we're finally getting over something. We finally have the clarity. We're moving forward. So another example of Seven of Swords, years ago, I had someone do a reading for me. And actually there was two people in my life, and the Seven of Swords came up for both of them. One was personal, someone I was dating. The other one was a business associate. And I didn't see anything wrong. And I was like, well, and their interpretation was get rid of them both. They're liar, they're cheater, you know, get rid of them. And I'm like, well, no, they're not. I'm not seeing that. And they weren't that, even the personal one. But there was definitely, they were Seven of Swords in me. Yep. So the personal one really wasn't ready. There was a lot of stuff, you know, they wanted to move in. There was a lot of stuff they wanted to do that just didn't end up happening. And listen, the Seven of Swords, they could take a bit of energy. They could be more takers than givers, right? So that's, again, why you have to pause and see. Again, tarot is a lot about managing our energy, understanding our energy, managing our energy, and navigating energetically. The other situation right around the same time was someone that I was doing projects with in TV and wanted to do stuff and had pitched me to some networks, and they were interested, and things seemed to be moving along. But a lot of the stuff that I was fully in, I was fully, you know, promoting stuff, and I noticed they really weren't. They weren't doing as much. Great person, great individual, but the Seven of Swords energy was, they were pitching a lot of things, a lot of different directions. It was just more about the money for them, the project, the money. Where I was coming more from because that's how I'm more motivated. Yeah, I love money. Money is amazing as an energy and what you can do with it. But I'm more motivated by projects, things that I love, things that are close to my heart, being of service. The money is secondary to me. In third, you know, it's not a priority. But energetically, I represent, you know, I get it as an exchange. It's wonderful. So this person was very stretched in what they were doing, and nothing came to pass because of that. And also, they weren't very clear about themselves and their own branding, so nothing really came to pass. Also, they're staying in the same place. They're in the same spot. But that's Seven of Swords. So would you say they lied to me? They cheated me? No, they just didn't reveal the full agenda of what they were doing. Now, had that been me, I would have sat with the person and said, look, I'm doing these projects. I'm doing a lot of things right now and just throwing stuff out there and just having meetings. And I really like you. I like what you're doing, your work. I think there could be something there for us to do together, or I could pitch you for something on your own. But I'm not sure. Okay. That's clarity. That's a Six of Swords. But that's how I operate. So back then I assumed others operated that way also. I learned a lot about the Seven of Swords. I learned to appreciate the Seven of Swords energy and what it teaches. And is that moon in Aquarius? Aquarius it's very impersonal. It's a male, you know, sign, more of a masculine expression. And so, you know, sometimes people can say, especially with moon and Aquarius, people can say, well, they don't really feel that much. Well, yeah, they usually are spread kind of thin. Or they're more, or it could be perceived that way. They're putting multiple things out, multiple situations, or involved in multiple people or multiple connections. They're much more of a group focus. So you could say this person lied to me or wasn't honest or wasn't upfront. No, they were strategic. In their world, their strategy was not to reveal everything or what they were really doing. With me, that approach, revealing everything, works better for me. Just lay it out on the table. So I had the Seven of Swords in after, because once I saw what was going on, I basically said, look, I've got a lot of things going on. If something comes up, I'm there 100% if I'm available. And so I moved my energy back. So that's one of the things that you learn. And again, the seven has to do with, is all odd numbers. There's an influence coming in, or there's something that you don't yet see. There's like spirit. Seven is, they say, is the number, one of the numbers of spiritual energy coming in. Well, that's because you have your energy, you're on human level, finite, and then there's something that, an influence that's coming in to help you. That could be spirit. So with this person or this situation, there were other influences that I later found out about by asking more questions. So Seven of Swords is a lot about strategizing, and you see that there's on the Thoth deck, Thoth, however you want to say it, the Thoth deck, there's one sword in the middle. See, that's the whole thing. There's always one sword that is the truth or cuts through. And that's also what you learn at the Seven of Swords. There's other influences, there's other ideas. Maybe people are putting ideas to you or other, you know, and that's why on some level it's called futility or futile success. You've had success, but it's kind of, it's marginal. It's in a process. You're still waiting for something to come through, to be revealed. And as an esotericist, that would mean, now when I look at Seven of Swords, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to get stuck in the extremes of polarity. I'm not going to get into dualistic thinking, but I'm going to go, there's something underneath the surface I don't see. There's an agenda I don't see. There's a strategy I don't see or I don't understand. Or do I need to strategize more? Do I need to have my own agenda, meaning my own focus, my own skin in the game, so to speak, right? Energetically, do I need to be more present or say more what I need and want? And you see this in the Rider-Waite, that the strategy, like people think, oh, he's stealing those. No, 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 no. He's leaving two behind in the fairground, right? He's leaving two there, seeing that they're still there. Anytime you see red, has to do with the material plane. Also red has to do with Mars. It has to do with our action. And then the brown is the mundane or everyday living. And then the blue would be spirit coming in. But there's a little bit of gray here. See, there's black, and that could be black and white for dualistic. But also hair color a lot of times in symbolism, black or, you know, non-gray hair would be for youth, but there's some gray hair, there's some white. So there's two meanings, black and white, not looking at things dualistically anymore. Like this is a bad situation, this is a good situation, or they're going to take advantage of me, you know, or I'm going to take advantage of them, or they're not going to take advantage of me. I'm not going to take, you know, it's not this dualistic thinking, but it's also that there's some wisdom at the Seven of Swords that's coming through that says, remember what you learned last time? Maybe you better stake your claim and leave something there, okay? Or leave something there so they know you're coming back, or they know that this is yours, and then take these other swords, take these other ideas, okay? Leave that so they don't think that you're gone and they take that part of the land, or they take that idea. You're staking that claim. That's strategy. That's having an agenda. Right? And there's this fairground. What are you doing at the fairground? The earth plane. Playing, but you want to win. The male principal is saying, I want to, you know, reach out. I want to stake my claim. This is my idea. This is my situation. You know, I'm going to take some. I can come back for these, or if I lose them, it's not a big deal. So at the Seven of Swords, you're also asked to see what is really important to you. What can you get rid of or leave behind, and what do you need to take? Okay, again, strategy, strategizing, an agenda. And a lot of times on a human level, that's looked as bad or wrong, but it's part of life. Do I get pulled off of my path, my soul purpose? What gives me meaning? Seven of Swords teaches us boundaries. If you get this card and you don't know what's going on in your life or in a situation, you'd better check into your boundaries. Make sure you're not giving too much, over giving. See, what is that other person really bringing to the table or showing up? You know, if they do something that is not life enhancing to you, maybe even hurtful or harmful, very often at the Seven of Swords, it can be wounding. It can be strategy. It can be, are they usury? You know, are they leaving two things for you and taking the rest? Are they keeping their word or their promises? So those could be a component of this, but also Seven of Swords teaches us, because with that moon in Aquarius, how do we get along with people? How do we get along with groups or in a community? And that's also symbolized by the fairground. We don't need to, nor should we, is it healthy to reveal everything, and just be this walking, blah, 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 everything out about ourselves, our life, and what's going on. That's not healthy, So there's healthy boundaries. Some people reveal more than others. That doesn't make them bad. That doesn't make them trying to take advantage of you. Some people are shyer. Some people are more introverts. Some people are more extroverts. Some people just say things as they, there's no filter. And someone else may be more reserved. That doesn't necessarily mean they're hiding something. But Seven of Swords says you have to check it out further and see what's going on, and then what's the best way for you and your life, your soul expression and experience. What's the best way to navigate with that person or through that situation? And that's what you learn at the Seven of Swords. All right. Okay. I hope that brought some clarity. I'll do more if you put in the comments more cards that you want to see, to get just a different perspective. And I'd love to have your perspective on it too. If you leave me in the comments, let me know how this helped you, if it brought some light, some insight, maybe some interpretations you've had, and maybe the way that some of these interpretations or meanings have played out for you, in your everyday living and real life. I'd be curious about that. Or when you see these cards, what's the meaning for you? Part of why I wanted to do this, and I do this in my tarot course and apprenticeship, is to kind of unlock the meanings of the tarot so we can widen the meanings up, so you're not so fearful of the card or the meaning. You can just widen it up. And maybe it's helpful too to know that there's always a lower, a mid, and a higher octave, lower octave, mid-range octave, kind of a combo. Because tarot is a lot about ourselves, our relationship to ourselves and our life, how we perceive our life, the universe, but it's also about our relationships, our interpersonal relationships. It's a lot about navigating that. Also, I wanted to let everyone know, because people ask me, what's that tea that you were drinking? It's Ancient Treasures, and you can get it online. This helps balance mind, body, spirit. It's great for creativity. It has no caffeine, but it has something in it that's a little, uplifting. It has 22 healing herbs, holistic balancing, and energizing. I got it originally at my chiropractor's office or clinic in a school, Yosan. And I just love it. I love it. It's light, it's easy, it's energizing, but it's also calming. It also calms the emotional body, but it is also great for creating and creativity. It kind of gives you this expansion of energy and consciousness, but also very grounding and relaxing, very calming. So, all right, Radiant Soul Lights, let me know how this resonates for you. And I'd love to hear in the comments what you thought, and any other meanings that you use also for these cards. Okay, till next time, keep shining bright. I'll see you in the next reading.